And then let's go. Okay, go live. Hi guys, how amazing it is because Houston is calling. Hello. We have, oh my gosh, Dominika from Houston. And Dominika is amazing brain coach. Oh my gosh, and she's an amazing speaker. And she is, Dominika, introduce yourself because I know you're a book author, you're a speaker on big, big, big stages. And she has beautiful background with a Polish president I read and all that. Would you like, please, stage is yours.
Take it away. Take it away. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you to everybody who's listening because you guys are giving us something that you will never get back, which is your time. So I hope not to waste it and give you enough value. They'll be like, oh my God, life is so awesome. So to make the long story of a 50-year-old woman short, right? We are going to say that I lived in America and in Poland most of my life. And Poland was all my adult life. And then life happened and I had to leave. And I ended up in the US. And right now, I'm an elite brain coach and mentor at Amen University, which means I'm an expert in neuroscience, rewiring of your brain. And it's step up from psychology. So mindset is important, but if your brain health is not in order, it's kind of like building a building with no bricks. You just can't do it. And I've got the bricks. That's the neuroscience, that's the brain health. And then on the other side, I do speak. I have books in Polish and in English. My favorite book is The Magic of Dreaming Big, Acting Small, Achieving Success, soon coming out in Spanish. I work with peak performance. So we optimize your brain so you can absolutely permanently get rid of anxiety, fear, imposter syndrome, ADHD. It can be rewired in a lot of cases with no medication, not all cases, but a lot of them. We work with, self-doubt and everything that you might have there. But it's, when you like work on something and work and it's like you then revert back.
Yeah.
At Neuroencoding Institute, where I taught for 4 years, I was one of the pod leads for 4 years. Now I'm not anymore. We teach this little story: as I think, so I feel, as I feel, so I do, as I do, so I have. But before you think is as I was programmed, as I believe.
Oh, that's
And that
yes.
is the part we work on. And we use techniques like they use on F-16 pilots who are phenomenal, that almost never make mistakes. We use something called a mental rehearsal. We use circadian rhythms. We use your blood work. We use all the magical stuff that's science-based, and that's super, super important. And I'm a mom of twins. They're 25. One of them is right now living in Poland, and one lives with me because she misses her twin sister. I have graduated in Europe with some degrees, like 3 of them or something. And then I came to the US and life was very interesting. I had the privilege to speak with amazing people on stage, including Joseph McClendon, including Les Brown, including Sean Callagly, including Paul Martinelli, and other amazing names. So I absolutely love what I do. And I love giving you tools and helping you to transform your life permanently, not temporarily. And my sweet spot is women 35 to 55, especially those that have been in leadership and they go like, there has to be more to life than this.
Yeah, it sucks when it is like this, the brain fog, but first of all, before we're gonna go to the brain fogs and all that thing, girl, you look so good. Tell me what you do.
Houston humidity.
Is it? Oh, is the blood? Is it
And it's
humidity?
the Slovak blood, of course. I mean, our Slovak ladies, we kind of are awesome. That gene that flows through the Slovak blood, and yours and mine and some
Say
Czech and
something
some
in your language.
Estonians, right?
We
We're
need to
all
test
the
you.
same
Is this me?
tribe.
Say something in your language.
Dzień dobry, a właściwie dobry wieczór. Witam bardzo serdecznie. Nazywam się Dominika Staniewicz i mam ogromny zaszczyt być dzisiaj waszym mówcą oraz gościem fantastycznej Ingrid.
Oh, I understood everything. You said basically, good evening. I'm here with Ingrida doing the interview. Was that
More or less, yes.
it? That's Okay, that's the charm that you have, that Slovak blood. Oh, that's what it is, the youth and now we can go back to the brain.
But you got to be careful with those Slovak women because we go
Yeah,
straight to the point. We don't joke around. We don't do bows and rainbows. We
that's
just
the
say as
thing.
it is.
Yeah, you the same, right? I just say it straight away, and yeah, people not used to hear.
No, they're not, especially in Anglo-Saxon countries, America, Ireland,
Yeah,
England. They're like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, I mean, you've asked for my opinion. What do you want? I
yeah.
gave you my
I don't
opinion.
like it. You told me, did you like my hair? I said no, because I like your previous hair, the way you have
Yeah,
it. I just honest. You asked my opinion.
exactly. If you don't want to know what a Slovak lady thinks, just don't ask.
So if someone wants to date a Slovak lady, what is the best like approach for the man who is very much from the uh,
Oh,
Western kind of
I
beauty?
think those men must be very grounded. They must feel secure in who they are
Mm,
and enjoy clarity
mm,
and straightforwardness. They will be taken care of. We Slovak ladies are amazing at taking care of people, but we do not do any BS. We do not do pick a restaurant, think what you like, what would you like to do? That's wishy-washy. You can go and get some other ladies that enjoy that.
and no
Um,
drama, straight to the
yeah,
point.
but
I
men who date us, they need to be very clear on where they're going, what they're doing, who they are, what they want, and
yeah,
how are and act according to it on top of this. Um,
exactly.
so
Yeah.
I think, and not be afraid of a woman that knows what she wants as well, because we're more about partnership than in America, there's this thing, Proverb 31 woman. I started reading on, I'm like, what the hell are they talking about?
I'm first time hearing that. What is that?
Okay, it's proverb. It's like a woman that goes. There was a lady who, when a man, she was getting married to him on the altar, she went down on her knees and started on her knees saying to
What
her
happened?
future husband that she will obey him. And I'm like, there's no way in my life I would go on my knees unless I'm sending somebody's life, like saving their life.
Saving
Okay, I
life.
can do that.
Please don't kill my kids. I'll do
Yeah,
it.
but other than that, we're not going on our knees. And I don't want you to do that either because most people don't know historically, you go on one knee when you receive an honor. That's why men go on one knee. This is when the kings used to, elevate you, right? That's when you on two knees is when you're going to die.
Oh my
And so, yeah.
God.
So, and when you're giving away your identity and your pride, I would never want a man to be on two of his knees in front of me. I would not let him
Yeah.
because I want him to be proud. I want him to be, you know, in his being proud of who he is. And going on one knee is very different than going on two knees. But we're totally like out of the brain thing, but it's a
I know,
historically
but
important
it's
thing and it has
important.
a different meaning.
Yeah, because we both are very much the same. Because I'm close to where Poland is, Lithuania, so we neighbors,
Yeah.
and we much the same. We have nearly the same food, Dominika. You have that shakotis, right? The yellow cake with the branches that are eggs and
Sękacz, sękacz,
zefire, zefire. The
sękacz.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of things like in common that we like, and yeah. What the men like in Poland? Are they good?
I think, I used to not like men in Poland, but when they grow up, and right now there's a trend of personal growth, which you can see in people's behavior, which is
Yeah,
quite refreshing.
that's good.
You know what I've learned? They're actually tall because in America, most men are my height, not much higher.
Are
They're
you
all
too?
tiny here, and I'm like 165 centimeters, which is
Me
5'5".
too. Are we the same then?
I know. You're just skinny, and I'm not.
Come on. We have these beautiful curves, like, it's just,
Yeah, curves. I got curves. But you know what? At 50, I get to have curves, so they can kiss my butt.
yeah, but that's good. Everyone is jealous now. Well, here, obsessed with this big butt. Like, I want a big butt. So that, whatever. I don't know, America.
And
There's a big butt as well. Like, here it is. Like, yeah. And you have it all, girl. The package. Let's celebrate. Okay, let's go to the brain. Brain now. Brain now. We just going crazy. That's the Slovak when we meet, Europe when meets, that's the real juicy thing. So I mean we kind of controlling ourselves here because it's not
We are.
really too much, but let's go the whole thing. What we want to do here is to talk more about the brain and how us females how to fuck avoid this brain fog and just, be powerful, be in control, and be in my best performance ever, regardless of my age.
I love it. That's a great question, which means we're going to be talking for another 10 hours.
Perfect. Let's do this.
So what is your audience? So let's ask the audience, what is the average age of audience?
So average age of audience would be somewhere like 40, 45, 50.
Okay.
That's that kind of, maybe 45 would be peaking the most.
Okay. So that means, ladies, all of you are in perimenopause and menopause, which
Yeah.
means brain fogs comes with the territory, but it doesn't have to.
Oh,
So first thing, that doesn't require hormone replacement therapy, but basically you will need it for the rest of your life. It is sleep. It
oh,
is sleep, and minimum of 7 hours, preferably 9.
oh, I love nine.
So that's the first thing for brain fog. Second of all is when you make decisions, make sure you know your concentration time. And you can check that on how long do you actually naturally concentrate, and then divide your work into that work span. What do I mean by this? Let's say my concentration span, and don't say it's 2, 3 hours. That's BS. None of us concentrate. It's like maximums, I think 40 minutes what people have. Most people are between 15 and 25 minutes of full concentration.
Yeah.
So when you're working on something, make that in increments of 20 to 25 with no disruptions. None, zero. Turn everything off. And then you can turn everything back on when you're on your break. The break would be about 10 minutes. I guarantee you that if you discover your concentration time and use that technique and just turn off notifications, phones, everything,
Yeah.
I guarantee you that your work time will be deleted from 12 down to 8 or 6 hours.
Right.
I can give you my head is on it. Second thing you need to do for peak performance is that you cannot make decisions with multiple variables. So what do I mean by that? You take your beautiful brain and you put two things in front of you and you're making a decision. You choose one or the other. And when you choose, then you can add another option. Do not put in front of you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 options, because you burn through something which is called mental and brain energy and decision, and you deplete dopamine when you are doing decision-making process in that way. So what you need to do when you're making a decision, okay, do I go here? Like if you want to go traveling, you
Yeah.
pick two things. Okay, what do I want? Do I want Canary Islands or do I want England? Canary Islands. Okay, do I want Canary Islands or I don't know, France, right? And you keep going until you get where you want to be. That's first thing. Your brain is very bilateral and also loves simple decisions. So the simpler
Mhm.
decisions they are, so less options, the quicker you'll make decision and the less energy you'll deplete. Another thing, which we've been both doing, it is having your water. Your water is for mental clarity. Electrolytes are for mental clarity. Those are just basic things to get rid of brain fog. But the truth is, and no matter how much you are into natural things, we didn't have menopause 200, 400, 500, 700,000 years ago. And I want to make this very clear because we didn't live long enough.
Oh, fuck yes.
We didn't live long enough. So when people say go natural, well, let me bring you the natural, right? The natural is great. And 1,500 years ago, the life expectancy was about 30 years old. Food
Oh,
was natural, air was natural, no additives, and basically no distractions, no guns, nothing.
yeah.
But guess what? We will die at 30.
Why?
So natural is very important, and let's embrace what science gave us. And we didn't live long enough to have menopause. for a very long time. And we get upset, oh, menopause was, nobody was
Mm.
studying it. That is very true. And it is true that most of us didn't live long enough for this to be a worldwide thing. Some women that lived longer. I know that in Poland, we had mental hospitals for women with menopause because people thought they were going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So, hormone replacement therapy, patches, progesterone, testosterone. Do you know that menopause, and I'm going to talk about this because hormones are key to your brain. If you want to have sharpness, you need those hormones. We just stop producing them.
Yeah.
And we need to add them in if we want to have adult function. Do you know that there are 80 symptoms of peri and menopause? 80. It's not hot flashes only. It's not night sweats only. There are 80. Me,
Jeez.
heart palpitations, perimenopause. Brain fog, perimenopause. Pain in your hips or your joints. It's not rheumatism, it's perimenopause. And guess what? It is because estrogen or estradiol depletes from your body and you have estradiol receptors all over your body. And then you just are in pain. And I can go on and on and on of those symptoms.
Oh.
Get your freaking hormones. Life will change. And it's for the rest of your life. And that's fine. It's not expensive. You're not going to go bankrupt. And imagine going to bed and falling asleep. Imagine not waking up all sweaty or being all hot. Imagine enjoying sex till you're 90.
Really? Oh my,
And this is absolutely possible.
I'm like,
It's not something unusual. If you're not enjoying sex, you're lacking testosterone and estradiol and maybe vaginal estradiol that you might need to supplement.
and that is a big problem. Yeah, it is, isn't it? A big problem for females in perimenopause and menopause because the hormones drop, the estrogen drops, and that's bye bye. All that kind of,
Well, let me tell you, when you get that going and you know you cannot get pregnant, there will be not a man that will be able to satisfy you.
Oh,
It's
tell
all
me
bets are
more.
off.
I'm ready to learn more.
It is important to understand that. It is important to understand that our bodies are changing, but this doesn't have to be permanent. But those changes affect your brain. And peak performance, meaning
Yeah.
having the best outcomes, knowing how much you need to sleep, exercise and walking. If you cannot, do full exercise, fine, walk. If you cannot walk, sit in a freaking chair and raise your legs up when you're sitting
Yeah,
and
that's
walk
yeah.
sitting.
Yeah.
Movement is absolutely necessary for your mental health and peak performance. See, screens, that's another thing. Ooh,
Oh,
computers and your phones.
yeah.
Mm-mm. Girls, mm-mm. Put those locks, put those phones in the phone jail because it is taking away and stealing away your joy. And these are just very basic things for peak performance. It is how much time you are outside. What are you looking at? What are the visuals you're surrounding yourself with? What type of clothing do you wear? What do you eat? Like all of that plays in. How long do you stand outside looking at the sun, right? All of those things play into peak performance. Do you have anxiety? And if you do, great. Did you do your blood work? Before you take any medication, I need you to go and do blood work. And you're like, why do I need blood work? Well, because if you're lacking um,
Vitamin D, maybe?
vitamin D, iron, ferritin, magnesium,
Yeah.
all those four. And
Yeah.
if they're not in the optimum level, just in the norm, you'll
Mm.
experience more anxiety. Now, there's a difference between the norm, like vitamin D, which is not a vitamin but a hormone, just out of
Mm.
educating everybody else.
Yeah.
The norm is between 30 and 100.
Yeah.
Now, if you have 40, that does nothing for your brain. If you have 45, that does nothing for your brain. The minimum you should have is between 60 and 80. That is optimum. That is actually going into your brain and doing the things it's supposed to be doing. So the same is with iron, ferritin, and magnesium. They're absolutely crucial for reducing the feeling of anxiety. Now, what's even more fun, we have the limbic system network and the DSM network in your brain. And I don't know if you realize, but anxiety and excitement are the same thing. The imagined outcome is different, but in your brain
Mm.
is the same things lighting up and going off. In
Yeah.
anxiety, you're anticipating a negative outcome. They're not going to like me. They're going to be mad. I'm not going to make it, blah, blah, blah. In excitement, you're going, it's going to be great. I'm going to love this. And the same parts of your brain are active in both situations. The only difference is what you attach at the end.
Wow. I just love it. So can we just like, okay, people who have this anxiety, they just, think a little bit different and change that anxiety more into excitement?
They can, but I'm going to be very honest. It's not like think a little bit different, you're going to be fine, because those people who have anxiety, they go, that's BS, and they will be
Mm.
right.
Mm.
There is a strong circuit in your brain. You've taught your brain without knowing that you're teaching that this is the reaction needed. And you had nothing to do with creating your personality and your reactions. It was all done by your brain by accident, and the accident is what you were surrounded with. And I think the really cool example that I can give you for that is the experiment they did with mom with toddlers. So they took moms of toddlers, about 100 of them, and told them that when the child falls, to go, oh, yay, you fell, come on, let's go. It was so much fun, and keep going. And the other 100 moms of toddlers, when they fall, they were supposed to go, oh my God, did you hurt yourself? Are you okay? Oh my God, your knee, are you okay? Don't cry, right? So the over emotional reaction.
Yeah.
What happened was all the toddlers, when they fell, they all looked at their mom for information. Is this good or bad? The brain was using something called mirror neurons and was searching for information. How am I supposed to react? The moms that reacted, oh, it's great, blah, 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 and went on, the kid went, "Eh," and moved on. The kids that moms overreacted and went, oh my God, how could you? And, your he said, are you going to be okay?
Yeah.
Went, "Ah."
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now, the kid does not know how to react. Everything in the environment teaches the young brain that's a sponge of what is the proper behavior. And this happens very, very in an intense way till the age of 7 and later on as well. But people who surrounded you did not control every reaction, did not control every mood, every face. And sometimes your brain goes, I'm playing red, I don't know, with red blocks, and somebody comes in angry, and the brain goes, red blocks, person angry. We don't like red blocks. We're afraid of red blocks. And you're thinking, why am I feeling uncomfortable around
Yeah.
red? Well, that's why, right? That could be a simple explanation, but there are so many things that happen and your brain takes in and then creates your personality. Now, we do have gene expression that can be activated and that will influence, but the truth is, until you start playing around with neuroscience, personal development, and conscious behavior, and if your brain is a whole, right? So nobody took half away your brain, you didn't have a surgery that took away half, you can rewire that brain, and neuroplasticity is till the end of your life. It's absolutely not true that you are too old. Now, the difference is that when you're young, it's automatic. It keeps rewiring as you go. When
Yeah.
you pass for women age 25, men about 28, yes, that's why we also pick older men, because we're 25, they act like like we were 20, so we perceive them not as intelligent. Their brain develops at a different speed. Um, what happens is at the end, we get to really rewire that brain. And when you're an adult, you have to choose to change. That's very important. You have to choose to change. It's not going to happen automatically. And what we need to do is at the beginning, when you're creating new behavior, new pattern, new neural pathway, it is as thin as a hair. And then when you keep repeating, it becomes like a ribbon. And then when you keep repeating, it becomes like a sidewalk. And then when you keep repeating, it's like a one-way street. And then like a two-way street. And then like a freeway. And then like a highway. And when it's a highway, it becomes an automatic behavior.
Oh,
But one of the misconceptions is that when you rewire and create that new pattern and new becomes a new automatic behavior, that the old one is permanently gone. It is not true. It's never gone. It just becomes again a hair. But in emotional heightened state, usually negative trauma, the old behaviors can surface. The goal is to learn tools to put them back down and go back to the new learned behavior.
oh my gosh, and can anyone do that? Is there a techniques and do you teach
Mhm.
that in your maybe a course or you have maybe some training that you teach people how to rewire that?
So as you know, I'm a brain health coach and an elite neuroencoding specialist. So of course I teach people to, and we have 6 and 12 months, sessions that we meet individually. And those are for specific things because we need to decide what we want to work on. So if you go, oh, I want to change everything about my life. Okay, you're going to fail. Okay. We're not doing this. It's not happening. And it's not happening not because you're incapable, but your brain is not designed. And I want you to
Mm,
memorize this or even write it down.
yeah.
It's not designed for revolution. Your brain is designed for evolution. Evolution is slow.
Mm.
The only exception to that rule is when you have a high emotional event, heightened state, traumatic event, or super exciting event that can be sped up. Other than that, we all make the same mistake. And at the beginning of New Year, we have the New Year's resolutions. And then we go, go, go. And 6 weeks later, most of us are back to old. The brain is not designed to conserve energy because it's old. Our brains are old, no matter our age. And it's searching for that lion, which is not coming. So it's conserving that energy, going, oh my God, I got to protect you. That's why you see, lights and weird things, and you start being afraid of them because your brain goes, well, there's no lion, but maybe that is a lion, right? So it creates those hallucinations. What's even more funny, your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. And it is insane. And I do that with all my clients before we start working on the brain, that exercise when we describe our favorite food. We close our eyes and we talk about it, how it looks like, how it smells like when you cut it, when you put it in your mouth. In every case, if it's done, everybody starts salivating. And I'm like, open your eyes. They go, what? I'm like, where's the food? Well, it's not here. Are you salivating? Yes. Because the brain does not know. Vivid imagination that uses all the senses can overwrite reality.
Oh my goodness, goodness. Dominika, you're giving here absolutely golden nuggets about that because your brain doesn't know the reality and imagination. So does that mean if I imagine certain things in my life as I'm already I imagine they not materialize, that means they can become material?
Yes, because when you imagine those things, your brain goes, I have this experience. Your brain is always looking for familiarity. That's the first thing we'll look for. So this is familiar. That's why we go to places like we were just talking before we went on, that I went to a show and I flew a private jet. Now for me, it's not something extraordinary. It's just a private jet because I've been there. My brain went, oh, I can experience
You
this. Oh,
already
this is
been there
normal.
in your brain, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I did it in real life, right? So the important part is when you imagine, your brain gets input into something called default mode network. It's a network in your brain responsible and connected with daydreaming as well as a searching for clues. So whatever you put in there, your brain will search for it, and ability to prove you right. That's
Oh,
another your brain's function. It will always prove you right. Whatever you do, it will prove you right. If you say all men are assholes, excuse my
and
language,
we're gonna
it
look
will
for
prove
them.
you right.
Oh, let's change that dialogue. Let's change. Oh my gosh, all men are amazing and they just,
and they're supportive and they're caring, and your brain will start looking in the
It's finding
environment
these
for
men
proof
everywhere.
of that because
Yeah.
everything exists. And because we have so much input, your brain has to choose. If you don't tell it what to look for, it's going to choose on its own, and it's going to choose what? Things that are familiar. See, when you're rethinking things, you're not rethinking because you're in a weird loop. Familiarity allows your brain to feel safe because it knows the outcome and it's not scared. So when somebody triggers, feeling of discomfort, anxiety, whatever, it's not them, it's your past that is familiar. So your job is to create new familiar good experiences on purpose. So your brain can go, oh, that also feels familiar. Let me choose that because it felt better. Because safety is, even if it's not logical, emotional safety is familiar things.
Yeah, Dominika, I just love it now. I'm just gonna go and I start imagining and living in my. Are you good with imagination?
So I am good with imagination, but I also learned that I need to use all senses for this to work. And I do not recommend just sitting and imagining.
Of
When
course.
you will be doing this, you need to use senses. So have a piece of material, let's say you're imagining a car. Have a
Yeah.
piece of material that will feel like that car. Have a smell that will smell like that car. Have, remember the blowing and how it feels on your skin. Use all your senses to imagine that one thing. And please don't imagine 55,000 things so your brain will get confused.
It's
So just
okay.
focus on one.
Yeah.
So we're going one,
Yeah.
maybe two, three if you're an expert.
Yeah.
Now, it's not enough. Imagining is one, but then your job consciously is to search for similar experiences in daily life. Without it, this does not work. So, for example, I have a thing, and before I want a better car, I go and I rent cars that are the cars that I want for one day, and I drive in them. So it looks familiar, it smells familiar that I've done it. It stops being this impossible dream and my brain creating real reasons why it's not possible. I've experienced, I rented that car 4 times. I feel pretty sure that I fit into that car, right? And it's a car for me. If you, for example, would like to be surrounded by people who are elevated, go and
Mm.
pay that $10 or £10 or €10 at an exclusive hotel in a lobby and drink that coffee. Be surrounded and be in the environment that promotes that experience. So your brain's not only in your imagination, but your brain goes, yeah, I was there. Yeah, this is me. I match. I go very often to a hotel in Houston. It's called Post Oak. It's a 5-star hotel. And a coffee is $15. And I sit there and I work. And I observe those women. Do you realize that people who are very high on the wealth list, they dress different, they walk different, they do different makeup, they speak at a different speed, at a different volume? I observe and I mirror and match. So my brain feels comfortable. I don't want to become them in behavior, but I want my brain to feel like this is also a place that I belong. Now, I'm not saying I'm doing bad, but the more of this, the more ingrained it is. You've been surrounded your whole life by people fighting, separating, yelling, cursing. This is very familiar. A lot of us have been abused by men. That is also very familiar. That is why you're choosing it, because that familiarity is
Yeah.
confused with the brain with safety.
Oh my God, Dominika, this
Yes,
is the next level.
I know. But
This
that's my next level, not next level at the neuroencoding.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's what I mean. That's such a next level. Dominika, this is so many golden nuggets. Can we just talk a little bit for the brain? Just so I love that. Basically, if you want to become whatever your imagination is that you want to become in the future, first thing is your imagination, your senses, and get in those areas where to get familiarity for the brain. So then brain already knows, and whatever the car as you described.
Yeah.
So you can rent a car, and they probably give you the test drive as well, to do it, as I'm
Absolutely.
going to buy, like, and then, and one day you will buy, or whatever, the house may be in the whatever area that you want to buy, but it's just way out of your league. But you go there and you just, as you say, just,
And you go for a walk with your dog in that area, and you
yeah.
feel familiar, and people start saying hi to you, right? Very basic things. And again, it might not happen immediately, but the moment your brain sees something as familiar, it starts looking for more of it and opportunities for the familiarity. And it will kind of build up with time. But if you so we have something that we have studies done on the brain that if you go into a room and you're with people who are angry or, in a very bad emotional state, let's just say, a lot of them, our brain waves sync. That's why the environment, it literally, our brain will start to work at the same pace. And that is a challenge because, and I'm going to give you another brain experiment that they've done that is crucial to understand how connected we are to other people and how our environment is important. It doesn't mean never complain. It doesn't mean don't get angry. Those are totally different things. But protecting your energy is key. So what they did, they took people running on a treadmill and they took their sweat and they put it in a bottle. Then they took people and they threw them out of the plane. They took their sweat and put in a bottle. Then they took totally unexpected participants and they put them in an fMRI machine. It's a machine that measures blood flow and activation of different brain system in real time. So what they did, they gave at one point everybody to smell the treadmill. There was no activation. People were still relaxed. They were instructed to think about pleasant things and be relaxed and listen to music. And that smell did not do anything. But in I repeat, every case when they gave the smell of the sweat of a person in fear who has been thrown out of the plane, their amygdala went haywire. It lit up like a Christmas tree. They
Oh,
all went into a panic mode and fear. And depending on ability to control that, some of them started screaming, heart palpitations, tears, jaw clenching, just from a smell.
wow.
The brain picked up it's dangerous, I'm afraid, just by a smell. Yet logic was saying nothing is happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how sensitive you are on daily basis.
Oh my gosh, Dominika. That is so good to know.
So
And
when you get scared for no reason, it might not be you. There might be nothing wrong. You might be in an environment of a person who was just scared 15 minutes ago. Or if you are married to a first responder, firefighter, soldier, they're not allowed to come home before they take a very good shower and do some meditation
oh wow.
because you might actually get anxiety just through the smell and fear factors.
Oh my gosh, so that's another nugget and another clue for people who are experiencing sometimes the fear out of nowhere. I had that
And
out
it's
of
not out of
nowhere.
nowhere.
Yeah, I had it. It makes so much sense because, oh my gosh, there's so many things to be aware of. And what we do in life, we just headless, just go, this thing, oh, my to-do list, this, and we forget. And then we question,
Yeah.
why do I feel like anxiety? Why do I feel like whatever feelings are coming up? But it's so good, Amiga, to know these things. And just before we wrap it up, because we're not gonna be talking 10 hours, are we gonna be talking?
No. Oh.
Okay, well, let's talk then. Any tips you would love to give, like a tangible tips that people can get up in the morning, maybe, I don't know, just so that, because you work with females, right, in the perimenopause and menopause, and you know how the brains are and what's happening. But like, what could we do? Like, maybe something simple, a ritual, or maybe what you do that helps you. And
Well, I have my little routine. I get up at 7 a.m. I drink a glass of water. Then I go get my coffee because I like my coffee, and I allow myself a cup a day. And I go outside and I look at the sky for about 20 minutes and do absolutely nothing else. That's the first thing that I do. And it has been my routine for a while. It allows me, I don't like quick mornings, they throw me off.
Mm.
Another thing is I do know my concentration time. I do know how long I work, and I make sure that when my brain is saying enough, I just stop because I know that I'll be doing something that it could take me 10 minutes for another 2 hours.
Oh.
Being tired is, and your brain is exhausted, eating right. Very simple thing, but so important. If you're in perimenopause and menopause, working with muscles, so strength lifting if you can. If not, wear a weighted vest. Just go for walks with weighted vest. Being outside of your house, connecting with people, being in social environment is key. And the next thing is understanding, stopping enough to go, okay, I'm upset, I'm angry, and being okay with being upset and being angry. There's nothing wrong with being pissed off. There's nothing wrong with being furious. There's nothing wrong with being sad or depressed, because depression starts after about 14 days of a constant feeling of being low. It's not 2 days of
Mm.
feeling like crap. So what I want you to do is to allow yourself to feel, but put a deadline on the feeling. Put a deadline on the feeling. I have 24 hours. For me, if I'm, life happens and, I sometimes make posts and I tell people how my life sucks in my eyes, I give myself 24 hours and I cry and I eat ice cream and I call my friends and I bitch and I moan and life is horrible. But I know in 24 hours, like it's not going to get better if I be in that state, and it's not helping me. So I have the 24 hours and I allow myself to feel. You can have an hour too. That's perfectly fine. Do not dismiss feelings because feelings are information. They feel real, but the truth is the only job they have is to inform you of things. And when they inform you, you get to choose what you're doing with it. Feelings are just the perception of your brain that was encoded in you a long time ago, and you can change that. And I'm going to give you one last example how that works. So
Yes.
I also crew Tony Robbins events because I want to give back to the community. And when I first went to a program called Date with Destiny, there is this exercise that they do. It's called freedom, where men stand up and with their powerful voices scream freedom. I had so much to work on me, and my brain was so fragile that it put me into a panic mode, and I started crying. I was scared out of my mind. It associated that scream with overpowering, with hurt, with rape, with beating me. It took everything that a man can do to a woman, put it into that sound. And then 5 years later, I was crewing that event. I wasn't a participant anymore. And I on purpose went into that room when that exercise was being done. And it was the most empowering, beautiful moment of my life because I saw them standing strong. I saw them being proud of themselves. And it didn't bring out any fear, it didn't bring out any bad emotions. It was sexy, it was powerful, it was grounded. The same thing 5 years later. It is all about what you do and how you rewire your brain. And if you want to live the life to the fullest, you need to take control of your brain, not your feelings, your brain, because your brain controls the feelings. The narrative is controlled by the brain, and it just happened. But now you're an adult and you can change that. So, with that, I would say that's the word of wisdom.
Wow, that was powerhouse, Dominika. In that, they just Power. I just love you, Dominika, for giving so much value to the community, so much knowledge, so much experience. And Dominika, the last one, where can people find you? Where can they go and find you? And how do you work? Like, just let's remind them everything
Okay.
you do.
So you can find me under my first and last name, but you can also find me anywhere you go, especially Instagram. I have Instagram in Polish, I have Instagram in Spanish, and I have Instagram in English.
Yes.
And
This is amazing.
so in the main one is the English one is Your Brain Coach D.
Your brain coach.
Coach D. That's the Instagram. You can find me the same way on Facebook and on LinkedIn and on YouTube. All handles are Your Brain Coach D, the ones that are in English. There are other handles that we use for Spanish speakers and we use for Polish speakers. And those are very fresh new Instagrams that have been around for about 6 months. So they're being built up because not everybody speaks English. And this knowledge is useful to anybody and everybody.
Wow.
So that's how you can find me. And I absolutely love, I have plenty of free gifts that you can find on my pages. You can find a stress test, and we have just brand new, amazing 2 months training that you can take that will rewire for anxiety, stress, and overwhelm, and will reduce it or eliminate it. It will give you control and very practical neuroscience tools. The cool thing is that, yes, it is self-paced, but you get automatically access to a Telegram group where I or my team, we literally answer your questions in real time unless we're sleeping. So you're not alone. It's not like a typical online, you have nobody. You can literally go into Telegram and say, hey, you did this exercise. I don't get it, how to do it, or this worked, or this didn't work. There are 9 exercises and you practice them slowly but consistently. You get a worksheet, you get a video, you get to practice, and then you get to communicate with me or my team. So, and it's no bots, no AIs, everything done by humans. And I truly believe that the human connection, the neuroplasticity, the neural pathways, and the mirror neurons that are the most important, where we pick up people's emotions, never ever AI will be able to achieve that. It's our human gift. And I love AI for support, but
Mm,
everything you see me do is done by me. None of my articles are written by AI. None of my posts are written by AI. It might be checked by AI,
yeah.
right? But it is all me because I truly believe that human connection is the effort and the impact. So if you're looking for me, Dominika Staniewicz, that nobody can pronounce unless you're
I
Slovak.
can pronounce Staniewicz.
Yes, you can, but you're Slovak, right? You're my tribe, or your brain coach D. Feel free to follow, and of course, please try out the course. The course is awesome, is on the lower end of pricing, and the results we've tested out 3 times in different settings and had phenomenal results. So
Amazing, guys. Amazing offer. And Dominika, your website is Dominique
your
braincoachd.com.
brain coach D.
Same, everywhere same.
Everywhere, Sam. There is another website with my first and last name, but that's for keynotes and public speaking.
Oh, I love that as well. So we might share it here in the guys. Dominika, you okay to leave your message, your links in the comments? For
Absolutely. I'll leave it
what you
under our
find.
interview and I'll put in comments all the links that you need to have.
Perfect. Yeah, guys. So do get in touch with Dominika. She is a powerhouse. She is amazing. The brain health, everything about the brain. And look at, oh my gosh, I just love Dominika. The confidence, the energy, everything. It just ignites. I shouldn't be like so excited because it's nearly 11 p.m. It's a bedtime for me. It's like I got just my vitamin C dose, Dominique. It excites you. That's what it's like to be with Dominica. Yeah.
You're adorable and
Any
you're
final words
amazing.
before we wrap it up, Dominica?
Well, I would say that being a woman is a privilege, and I am about to deliver probably the most important keynote of my life because now we have neuroscience that proves that female brains are built for leadership.
Ooh,
And I have read over 300 studies. And let me tell you, our culture got it all wrong. So if you ever thought you're not built to be extraordinary and exceptional and a leader, you're gifted. Your brain is absolutely amazing and it has some advantages that if you use them correctly, there's nothing stopping you.
Wow, wow, wow. I love that. Oh my gosh. So stop hiding, girl. The audience who listen, and here it is,
And we
Dominika.
do love men, by the way. Men are fantastic too, but I specialize in women and uplifting women with science and knowledge so they can see that it's not only feelings, that they're facts.
Yeah, yeah, we don't exclude, but yeah, the females are supported here the most because we tend to kind of play small, I suppose, and just hide, and then yeah. So time to shine, girl. Time to shine here.
Absolutely.
Dominika, amazing brain coach. And oh my God, Dominika. Dominika, thank you so much for being here. And guys, thank you so much for listening. And if you any questions, Dominika, you can contact Dominika directly or just message her under this live. And Dominika will also leave the link so you can contact her directly. She has amazing gifts. Take advantage and get in touch. And thank you so much, Dominika.
Ingrid, that was a huge pleasure. Thank you so much, love.
Thank you. Okay, let's go off here. Thank you so much, guys.